Hey everybody, here's a little update of what's going on here in our gardening experiment. One, it's definitely warm weather. The birds are tweeting and the pear trees there all come out and bloom with these white pretty flowers, and then it only lasts about a week and then that's it. Then they go away. The city's been going back behind the park here and cutting down the trees. Boy, they want to keep them off the electrical lines, but boy, they should do make an ugly kind of design on that. But regardless, our little tree here is popping up leaves. This is an apricot tree. We're kind of putting in some fruit trees along the back here to give us some more variety in our garden. Of course, we've had for years this pomegranate tree that doesn't seem to want to give us pomegranates. I don't know if it might have to go after this year. So disappointed in that. But what we have below here is another experiment. If you're watching the folks on the YouTubes, they've kind of developed this hybrid method of container gardening. Now, rather than this just be full of dirt, what we have here is the very bottom. You'll notice here, about maybe an inch or two up, there's a drainage hole right here, if you can see that. And that drainage hole has just right above it perlite or vermiculite. And so that's the bottom of the pot. Then the top of the pot is regular soil. You can use your nice gardening soil from your big box store or something like that. And then I put mulch on top of that to reduce the evaporation of the moisture and keep everything really good. We need that here in Texas. And then what I've done is, because the container plants that I find work well here for us are both peppers and eggplants. And I'm putting again my scorpion peppers, my ghost peppers, and my eggplants. This leaf, look at him, this leaf's a little bit iffy. But what happens here, in theory, the way it works, is that when you water, the water will go down into the dirt, and then it will then keep going down into the perlite. And basically what it will do there is it'll create a bit of a reservation well of water. But because of the drainage hole, it's not going to be sopping wet. It will drain out excess water. As the season goes and as you have your plant there, then any excess water will wick up to the dirt to keep it moist, so you don't have to maybe water as much. But then the roots are going to go down and they'll get into that water, and it's a little bit of hydroponic and a little bit of dirt. It's a hybrid. So I've seen this on the YouTube folks that do this, and I said, well, you know what? I can go to Home Depot and for a couple bucks get a pot, and why not give it a shot too? I like doing different gardening methods because it's kind of fun to see which ones work out well for me, for my area, for my climate. So I just got the first. Again, we're at the nursery and spent a few bucks on plants. So far they've been in here about a week, maybe a little over a week, and they look good. So success story here so far. Again, peppers and eggplants, so they really want that higher temperature, and we're not yet into the 70s and above consistently yet. So that's going to have to, get the direct sun all day long and, get going here. Maybe once we get into the higher temperatures, I can do some partial shade just so that it doesn't bake them. Again, if you're in Texas or any of these hot states, you'll often hear times people say it needs 8 hours of full sun. Well, that's 8 hours of normal sun, not Texas sun. That 8 hours of that, it will just burn you up, right? So you got to be careful when they say full sun in Texas. You might need a little bit of shade. So anyways, let's move on, show you some of the other stuff that we're kind of doing here. This is my persimmon tree that we planted in the fall. And it looks like the buds here are going to start taking off. So I hope this tree goes and gets going here too. I have another of the cage material that I didn't have my other thing set up ready to make the trellis yet, so I just protected the tree with that. And then over here, the other tree we planted is a mulberry tree. And this guy grew really fast before the fall hit, and then we're waiting. I'm trying to look for some signs of life there. You know, he's kind of got some stuff on the side here that hopefully means it's going to start coming alive. So we hope to see that. All right, so that's kind of the back of the garden here so far. Let's kind of show you some other things in our next video. So we'll talk to you soon.